Warning: the following video contains explicit language which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
This video here I want y'all to see. It's not long. It's from Kyle Kalinsky talking about this pastor who's saying that the Republican Party can't really call itself a Christian party anymore because of everything they stand for today is so anti-Christian. So let's go to that video here. We'll discuss that on the other side.
All right, you guys are going to love this, man. This is just fun. This is incredible. As I keep telling you, there has been a tremendous vibe shift in this country. There was a time when the right was just so dominant online, and it felt like they owned the culture, and it all culminated with now Trump being back in the White House. But very quickly, all their goodwill is gone because they're destroying the country, right? And they're arrogant about it too. As they make the worst decisions ever, they double down and triple down and mock other people, right? And so now you're beginning to see criticism in corners that normally you wouldn't. So typically when you talk about pastors in this country, most of the pastors you hear about are right-wing assholes saying right-wing asshole shit. Well, this is glorious. So here we have a Tennessee pastor. Trey Suey is his name. Shout out to this guy, because this is a devastating and brutal and detailed takedown of the thugs and gangsters and criminals on the right. And I mean, this is, if every pastor talked like this, shit, I'd consider becoming religious, right? Here we go. Watch this.
If I wanted to grow a church in Wilson County, and my main objective was to get as many people in that building as possible, I would preach the gospel of Donald Trump. I would forsake the gospel of Christ. Well, I am a local Cumberland Presbyterian minister in the Wilson County area here. My thoughts today, I will say as a prerequisite, I do not represent my whole denomination, do not represent everybody in my church. That's the beautiful thing about church, is it's a shared space. But the party that we have today is not my mama's Republican Party. It has been taken over, it seems, by an extreme wing, the MAGA wing, which uses Jesus for the name of Jesus for the sake of power, but has no intent of actually playing out what Jesus taught when it came to taking care of the poor, when it came to including people of all stripes and backgrounds into community. I'm being told by conservative pastors that the tail is wagging the dog in these churches, that some of these pastors can't even preach on helping the poor anymore without being accused of being woke.
Oh, that is so devastating and brutal and exactly right. You try, as a Christian, to defend the poor, and they say you're being woke. Well, I mean, by your definition then, Jesus is the wokest person that has ever fucking lived. Bro, why not pick a different religion? If your whole life is going to be built around hatred and inverting the morality of every situation to make it seem like the wealthy and the war criminals, like these are the victims, pick a fucking different religion, bro.
And that's not the way of Jesus. These people that think helping the poor, helping the immigrant is woke, they need to find a new religion because Christianity ain't the one for them. When I see the teachings of Jesus being played out locally in public policy, what I'm seeing is that the Wilson County Democrats and the Tennessee Democratic Party are supporting things like no taxation on groceries to help the poor. Meanwhile, the Republicans shoot that down, right, and give tax cuts to corporations. Now, when Jesus said the first will be last and the last shall be first, I don't know how that corresponds to his teachings. When Jesus said, blessed are the poor, for they shall inherit the earth. But yet it seems that the Republican Party is communicating, blessed are the billionaires, for they...
Oh, this guy's killing him. Holy shit, I love this guy. This guy's killing him. God damn, bro. Yeah, this party, they're doing over $800 billion in Medicaid cuts. Medicaid is healthcare for low-income people and disabled people. I could not imagine a thing more directly at odds with the good things that Jesus says.
But yet it seems that the Republican Party is communicating, blessed are the billionaires, for they shall inherit the earth. This seems very contradictory. Antichrist, in the sense. I'm very clear. Christian nationalism is false teaching. The idea that Christians should seek to conquer their neighbor by conquering the government. What I see with Jesus is he's always protecting people from being encroached upon by religious law that would seek to dehumanize them, cast them aside, and disenfranchise them. I don't see that happening today with the Democrats, but I do see that happening with Republican policy. I've seen within Wilson County what I would call these bastions for Republican politics go on full campaigns, have Sundays fully campaigning for the current administration leading up to the election. And I think the reason for that has to do probably with donors and tithing. I just saw that the Wilson County Republican Party is going to have Matt Gaetz here to speak in Lebanon. And their blurb that they had on their advertisement for this is, a man who stands up for conservative family values. Now tell me how a man who is just being investigated by Congress for potentially there being evidence that he had sex with a minor, he stands up for family values. It's not my family value. The family values I see coming from the Wilson County Democratic Party in terms of local politics, who do care about what it looks like to live day to day in the life of just the common person, you and I. What it looks like is there's no public policy that's actually supporting, within Tennessee, coming from the Republicans, just your common person like you and I, or those amongst us who are trying to get by, who live in the trailer park down the road. And not to mention the immigrants, who Jesus says, welcome the stranger. The Bible tells us to welcome the stranger as one of your own. I think that some of their misconceptions is that whoever can judge their neighbor the loudest, their neighbor's lifestyle the loudest, or whatever have you, is the most faithful. What I see with Jesus is he's not someone that reduces space. He's not someone who's exclusive. He's someone who's inclusive.
Look, I love this. If you're one of those Christians who, like, you're a good Christian and you actually believe in the message of Jesus and the positive things, and you care about the poor and the sick and the downtrodden, and you want to create a more fair and just society, if you're one of those Christians, it is incumbent on you to do exactly what this guy's doing. Now, look, I'm not religious, so it's not really my place to get involved in that aspect of the conversation, but don't let the fundamentalist right-wing asshole Christians, the ones who believe in every horrible thing in the world, don't let them run roughshod and talk politics 24/7 and talk about their horrific ideology where they want to gut social services and cut the social safety net and screw over working people. And don't let them say that and then the good Christians sit there quietly. If you're going to be a Christian and you're a good Christian, use the positive parts of the message. Get involved in the debate, in the discussion. Explain to them that actually, no, based on the text, you're fucking wrong. You're wrong. This is the reality. And you do see this, to be fair, there are certain denominations that are always pretty good like this. Certainly the traditions of the black church in this country are phenomenal, right? They actually use their Christian beliefs to have them support a better society, a more just society, good laws, right? So I need to see more of this, bro. I need to see more of this. I need all the good pastors, the Jesus-believing pastors, stand up. Don't let these right-wing asshole Christians who dominate political Christianity in this country, don't let them be the ones to run wild. And as he pointed out, this guy's a Christian, but he's also secular. He believes in separation of church and state. That's great. We don't need overtly religious teachings in school. Of course, you can and should implement laws that coincide with the good parts of Jesus' message, like make sure people have health care, make sure people have higher wages and things of that nature. But you can be secular while also advocating for those things. So let's get past the fundamentalist far-right Christians who give Christianity a horrific name, who are supporting a genocide in Gaza. No. The good Christians need to stand up and speak out. And this is the first time in a long time I've actually seen that. A Christian who is politically active and on the left and saying the right things. Because, by the way, there's no better recruitment tool for Christians than having this philosophy and this ideology and not the fucking hateful one that we see all the time in this country. So I love that video. That is the ruthless destruction of MAGA, and he's doing it from their Christian perspective. Like, oh, you really want to talk Christianity? Let's talk Christianity. You're wrong about every single point of it. I love that energy. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe.
I gotta say, the guy's right. I mean, the hypocrisy from the right wing these days, the principles that they now stand for, which is really the money, the wealth, the rich. These are people that, Jesus, if you've read the Bible, the things that he said in the Bible, these are things that Jesus did not portray as a positive thing. And he warned people against what happens when you feed your greed, because it makes it, what do you say, going to heaven for a greedy person is like trying to go through the eye of a needle, like a camel trying to go through through a needle. So in other words, what he's saying is, if you just absorb your whole being into making money and profiting and stuff like that, you're going to have nothing of value, okay, to offer, God, I guess, or whatever. You're just going to be useless. You know, your whole life is just about yourself. Trump is a perfect example of that. This is a guy who lives his whole life for himself. I doubt the son of a bitch ever helped anybody. You know, it's a wonder. I wonder, did he ever do any charity? I mean, some rich people do charity, but did this fucking guy do any? I don't know. But the point is that for the Republican Party to support Trump, a guy who really isn't Christian in any sense of the word, okay? He's not a Christian, and the Republican Party therefore really isn't Christian based anymore. But I've been saying this for years, because if there's any party that really aligns closer with Christianity, it's the Democrat Party. I'm not saying Democrats are perfect, okay? We got some bad seeds in that party too. But if you want to compare the two parties, you're going to find that the ideals of the Democrat Party today, okay, align more with Christianity's values. And there's no arguing that. I mean, yeah, I know people say, well, they want to support slavery. Yeah, but they got rid of that. Okay, so what? That was a different time, and those were different politicians. Okay, the Southern Democrats and all that. When they couldn't get their way anymore, that's basically they ran to the other party, and basically that's what took over the Republican Party. Okay, but as the party stands today, the Democrat Party today, they align closer with Christian values. I mean, they're the ones that come up with all these programs to help the poor and the destitute. The ones that the Republicans are always trying to get rid of. You know, and they accuse it of, oh, you're just wasting money. It's fraud. How do you waste money helping people? You know, Jesus. But like I said, they want to call America a Christian country when we simply don't. I mean, look, I just saw an article here where this Rochester, New York, there's this high-rise apartment building. They told the people who live there they had a week to get out. 1 week. Tomorrow's Friday. They're supposed to be out of there by tomorrow. So they got this notice a week from today, a week past. A lot of these people don't know where to go. They're going to be homeless. They got stuff packed and stuff, but they don't know where to go. And they were told, you got to be out of that fucking building by the end of the week. Well, if this was a Christian nation, people, that wouldn't happen, because people would have taken the time to set these people up in places before they wanted to shut down that building. Apparently, this complex is almost $1 million in the hole for some reason or other. So it's mismanagement that caused this to happen. And the poor people living there that are, living in this apartment building, they're the ones that's going to be paying the price for their management's misdeeds or whatever the hell they were doing. But they got 1 week to get out. Okay. So that's just one small example of a lot of examples that I know a lot of you people out there have probably seen. One small example out of many examples that shows this country is heartless, okay? And it thrives on that. The wealthy people in this country have destroyed whatever Christian values you think this country has. Those things have been eradicated. But to keep people loyal to their party, they'll just continue to tell the lie that we are a Christian party and yada, 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 okay? But they're not. They just aren't. And like I said, the Democrat Party right now, because they try to stand up for the working class and the poor as best as they can, they align closer to what Christianity is. So if people out there who are Republican, if you want to be part of a party that really reflects what you believe, if you're a Christian and you really believe in Christian values, you need to switch parties. You need to get the fuck out of the Republican Party and move over to the Democrat Party. Only there will your voice be heard. If you stay where you are, you're just going to be glossed over. They're only going to want your vote, and once they get it, they don't care a damn thing about you after that. But if you want to be in a party where you can actually be a little more proactive and do things to expand on your values, then join the Democrat Party. Okay? Yeah, I know abortion is a big thing, but you know what? Republicans aren't anti-abortion any more than okay. I mean, they're really not against it. Okay, a lot of Republicans have had abortions and stuff like that, so they're just lying to your face. They're lying to themselves if they're trying to tell you that, oh, we will stand against abortion in this country. No, you got Democrats that are on both sides of that fence too, that are against abortion and support abortion. It's not a political issue. It's an issue that covers all sides of the political aisle. You don't need to belong to one party because you think that party is either pro or against abortion. That's not an issue for politics. But if you're one of those people that don't like to see others suffer, who need help, okay, the Democrat Party is the one you should be in. Screw the Republican Party. They've lost whatever crown they once held over the years, that they were telling people, oh, we're the party of morality and law and order, when everything about them today reeks of the opposite. So anyway, I thought you should see that video, so talk to you guys later.